A massive threat was just uncovered today in New York City. However, according to U.S. officials, they say this may be the tip of the iceberg. I want to show you something because this right here is exactly what many people have been worried about and concerned with, is that we could potentially have sleeper cells here in the United States that are just waiting to attack us. But look at this.
Secret Service revealing they dismantled a massive telecom network capable of crippling cell towers and jamming 911 calls. It was happening just 35 miles away from New York City, and where the UN General Assembly is underway at this hour. Here to tell us more.
Okay, so this was something that was just 35 miles away from New York City. However, according to reports, this is something that would easily have crippled New York City, and it would have crippled the entire region. Look at this right here, though. Okay? It says Secret Service dismantles telecommunications threat near UN General Assembly in New York. Secret Service says devices were found 35 miles off the United Nations General Assembly meeting in New York City. I want to show you something, though. Look at this right here. It says right here, this network had the potential to disable cell phone towers and essentially shut down the cellular network in New York City. But it goes on and it gets worse than this. Look at this right here. It says the Secret Service said it found more than 300 co-located SIM servers and 100,000 SIM cards across multiple sites. It says in addition to carrying out anonymous telephonic threats, these devices could be used to conduct a wide range of telecommunications attacks. This includes disabling cell phone towers, enabling denial of service attacks, and facilitating anonymous encrypted communications between potential threat actors and criminal enterprises. Yeah, it's serious. It says while forensic examination of these devices is ongoing, early analysis indicates cellular communications between nation-state threat actors and individuals that are known to federal law enforcement agencies. But I want to play one thing for you. Listen to this as well, because again, the threats against the United States are real. We have a lot of people that are not friends with the United States. Okay? Iran, Russia, China. I can go on and on, but those are just three of the big ones. Listen to this.
Significant breaking news this morning, Brian, related to not only the president's safety, but the 150 different country representatives that are here in New York City for the UN. The assembly's going on right now. The president coming into town today to speak there. And what the Secret Service found in a normal sweep in advance of this involved bringing in the NYPD, and they found 100,000 servers that 100,000 SIM cards that are essentially the ability to mimic cell phones in one area. And imagine if you had the ability to send out 30 million text messages to overwhelm our telecommunications system, it would bring not just the city to its knees, it would really bring a big section of the country to its knees.
Now, what is interesting about this, and when I say interesting, I'm not talking about, oh, this is great, this is good news. No, this is terrifying. Because think about this for a second. What if there was an attack and everybody's trying to call on their cell phones, picking up their cell phone, trying to call 911 to let the police know, hey, this is where the attack's happening. But yet you can't get through because the 911 call center is just overloaded with 10,000 people, 10,000 fake calls going in every single second. Nobody would get through. Now, what I thought was interesting, though, because when I was hearing about this story earlier on today, I was also seeing that the French president Emmanuel Macron, he was stuck right there in New York City. He was stuck. He had to call President Trump to try to get through because Trump's motorcade was blocking off the street. I thought that was interesting. If something like this would have occurred, okay, where all these SIM cards are blocking the president of France from calling, what happens then? What happens when the telecommunications get shut down? When Secret Service couldn't talk to each other? Okay? What happens when certain agencies are trying to figure out what's going on in a potential attack? And again, we don't know if this was the end attack or if this was something that was just a disruptor, something that was going to disrupt and pretty much disguise a bigger attack. We don't know that. But listen to this.
Yeah, the Secret Service says this telecom threat was uncovered as agents investigated telephone threats directed towards U.S. government officials.
So this wasn't even what they were looking for. They were investigating telephone threats to U.S. officials. That's what they were investigating. Not this. That's what's scary. Let's keep listening though.
The investigation led them to a chilling plot that, yes, could have crippled New York City's phone lines, data networks, even emergency channels, with world leaders now here in New York City for the United Nations General Assembly.
So this would have shut everything down. Right? Internet not working. Your phone not working. People would have been upset, to say the least. But again, we don't know what the end result was. Is this it? Hopefully that was it. Hopefully that was the attack. But according to the Secret Service, they're saying that this was just the tip of the iceberg because they don't know who did it. Okay, listen to this though, because this right here is what is very unsettling. Listen to this.
The idea that this was able to be set up and sat there for as long as it did is very concerning. The idea that it was so well organized is even more concerning. Who's behind this? We've got to find that answer, and we have to find out, was this a distraction for something larger, or was this the event itself? Because either way, it plays very, very bad for our security in this country.
We only got 40 seconds, but one thing we can do is tell me what countries are capable of doing it. Us, China, Russia.
Name all the
North
adversaries.
Korea, but
North Korea, Iran. You're talking about all the normal players that threaten our lives on an ongoing basis with our security, whether it's your family, whether it's financial institutions, whether it's our government computer systems. This is a major story. This is a very big deal, and
This is a big, big deal. Because the fact that it was 35 miles outside of New York City, a major city, okay? The largest city in the United States, that's a huge concern, okay? Keep in mind that the United Nations General Assembly, okay, in New York City, this isn't something that we're going to take lightly. But the fact that he's saying the same thing, he's asking the same questions. Was this the attack, or was this just something to distract from the potential attack? Was this something that was setting up for something even greater? That's what we don't know. And the fact that the Secret Service, the NYPD, they are trying to figure this out. Again, this is day one. They're trying to figure this out, seeing what's happening, and trying to get more answers. I don't know when we're going to get the answers that we're looking for. But here's what I can tell you. The threats against the United States, according to all agencies, even Homeland Security has been saying this for the last 7 to 8 months. The threats against the United States have never been higher than they are today. So I'll leave you with that, but that is what we know as of today. Yes, the Secret Service did uncover this massive telecom threat, but was this just the beginning, or was this the end? That we don't know. But as soon as we get more answers, as soon as we get more information, I promise I'll bring you all the latest news and updates as soon as we get them. But as of today, that is what we know. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.